positive expected value betting. How much money can you expect to make using this strategy and using the tools at OddsJam, right? So I'm going to show you some examples that I have for myself right in the last like 5-6 months. And then we're going to go through a couple examples showing you maybe how much money you can make. Newsflash, we're going to have to use a spreadsheet and do math. So yeah, but we're going to talk about how much money you could potentially make. So that's kind of fun, right? Come on, let's go. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you're familiar with me. My name is Billy C, and I like to provide educational content talking to you about the tools here at OddsJam, making money betting on sports, right? So what I want to go through today is, I get some questions from time to time, like, hey, Billy, like how much can I make with this amount of money using OddsJam, or is this enough? And so I want to show you some of the examples that I've gone through here in 2023, a couple of months. And then we're going to go through a few examples of what maybe you can expect to make depending on how much money you have, right? So we're just going to hop into right here in January, okay? I'm going to throw my strategy here down at the bottom because I do things a little different. And we're not going to hop into the tool today and show you any plays, but essentially I go off of a unit size, okay? So what is a unit size? So like here in January, right, I had a unit size of $125. So if the odds on a play fell between minus 110 to minus 200, I would bet $125 on that play. Maybe it's Yankees money line, maybe it's the over-under in the Laker game, okay? But that's what I would bet. So if the odds were different, right, maybe I wasn't getting Yankees money line at minus 110. Maybe I got them at, minus 105. Well, then I would put 90% of $125 on that play. Right. And essentially the reason I do that is because all odds are associated with a win probability. And so, minus 150 odds has a much higher win probability than say plus 105. They're just different. Okay. And there's videos I've shown in the past, and I'll definitely show you if you have any questions, leave a comment why that is. But I like to go off these type of odds because it kind of neutralizes my variance, the gap that I have, right? On a day-to-day basis, those ups and downs. And I still go through quite a bit of variance. So $125 here in January. You can see down below in the ticker what odds I'd be getting. This is what I would be making the bets at. So I made in January 395 bets. And at the time in January, for old Billy Boy here, that was a very active month. I bet almost $37,000, and I brought back a 4.32% return, right? And I just want to start from off the hop by saying, how much of a percentage you think you can make. I want you to look at this monthly. Look at this monthly, not weekly, because there's variance that happens week to week, day to day. So look at it from a longer perspective, right? And so I'm going to tell you that you can expect to make 1 to 5% per month, right? So if you bet $100,000 a month, you can make anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000 a month. I am not, this channel, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can make 8, 9, 10% consistently when you're placing 400, 500, 1,000 bets. I'm not that guy. Go to the other channel. Someone's going to tell you that. Not me. Okay. I'm all about low expectations, right? So I want to keep it low. And if we have a higher return on a month, fantastic, but keep it realistic. And here's why. Because you're going to see in my future months here what's kind of going on. So 4.32% return, right? Bet around $37,000. So I had a profitable month. My average bet size also, by the way, $93.27. So if you're thinking, oh man, well, maybe I'll have a $100 unit size, but for a $125 unit size, right? I put down almost 400 bets, brought back a 4.32% return. $93.27 was my average bet size, and I made almost $1,600 in profit. All of these bets that I'm talking about, okay, each day here, you see the column B is the bets, the amount in column C that I wagered, the amount in column D that I got back in return, and then column E is my profit and loss, right? These are all straight wagers. So I'm not talking about parlays. I'm not talking about prize picks. I'm not talking about underdog fantasy. These are straight wagers. I don't do a lot of parlays. Not yet. It's just a little too risky for me. I like to take a safer approach. So I had a profitable month. My strategy, if you have a profitable month, you up your unit size, right? For me, I upped it $50. February, $175. Disclaimer, February was an aberration in my opinion, just kind of like I'm going to show you March was an aberration. One-offs. These don't really happen. I had a phenomenal February. Okay, so I went from 400 bets to 800 bets. I doubled my bet size, doubled it up. Also went from betting $37,000 to almost $101,000. Brought back almost a 9% return. Made almost $9,000. My average bet size went from $93 to almost $127, right? So I'm much more active, placing a lot more bets. You could see one day I had $8,200 bet on February 23rd. Had a hell of a day. Brought back almost 11 grand. So this is an aberration of a month, but this can happen. Positive expected value betting. It's just part of the variance. I caught a wave and I rode it all the way to the top. So I caught a wave and rode it all the way to the top. Also, another disclaimer, my bankroll is now sitting at $25,000. I don't bet anywhere near that amount per day. I don't. It's just too risky for me. I don't like to do that. Right now, I average anywhere between $3,000 to probably $8,000 gambled a day. I would want to increase that, but basically, I should increase it based off my numbers and confidence. But again, it's a risk tolerance, and that's more of a personal preference. So this is something you need to figure out. But we go from February, which was incredible, riding high, to March. So we go from almost 800 bets. March was my most active month, 1,000 bets. Put 1,000 bets down, 135K almost gambled, and I brought back only a 0.87% return, right, which was $1,100. And here's kind of the key, right? I upped my unit size to $200, but here's the key. So I made $1,100 in March, less than a 1% return. Very active, very active. But because I increased my unit size, I increased my activity, and I'm gambling more, wagering more, right? Like in January, brought back $1,600, 4% return. That's really solid. And I brought back $500 less in March and had a way worse return. Why is that though? Well, that's because instead of betting $37,000, I bet $135,000. So the more money that you wager over time, you can still capture a lower ROI and still make a lot of money, right? So my average bet size then was $133. Okay. So, it stunk, but man, this is kind of like, I love February and March because I can show you the high of the highs and the low of the lows, right? Still made money. I'll take $1,100 any day. Yeah, here, I'll take it, please. So this is what it was. So then again, another profitable month. We go to April. I bump it up to $250. Still following the same strategy I showed you on the ticker below, okay? Where I'm keeping my plays in between that plus 130, that minus 200. And that's the no vig fair odds. But, check out a previous video. That's where I'll kind of go a little bit more into depth in my strategy. But these are just the numbers I want to get into you with today. So April, only put down 740 bets. And you would say, well, Billy, why is that? Well, I work a full-time job, so I get the bets down whenever I can. Have some buddies that came into town and life kind of got in the way. And so, I do this when I can. I try to be as active as I can. Also, technically, I'm hindering myself with the criteria of the bets that I want to place on the tool, right? So if there's a lot of plus 170 bets out there or plus 190s, plus 150s, I'm not making those bets because they don't fall within my criteria. So I'm already limiting myself on the tool, but I'm okay with that because I'm doing pretty damn well. So placed 740 bets in April, brought back just under a 4% return. $165.92 is where I sit as far as my average bet size. So you can see each month, my average wager unit size keeps going up, right? Keeps going up. And that's the key. As long as I have a positive month, I'm going to keep upping my unit size. So let's go ahead and let me show you May real quick. Okay, so for the month of May, as you can see down here, so far through May 21st, we've placed 423 bets. I've brought back a 1.09% return. I've had a couple 4 days in a row where it hasn't really went my way. But, when you catch a positive swing like the 13th through the 17th, you might have a couple losing days. Funny enough, I'm actually very excited to see what the 22nd is because usually that means I'm going to catch a winning day here anytime. So I've bet $75,000. Brought back obviously a little over $75,000. I'm up about $800 on the month, which again, that's great. Obviously, I would love to be up 5, 6, 7 grand, but I have a positive return, and I know that I'm going to continue to gamble more and bet higher amounts. So, even if I'm going to hit over 100 grand again this month easily. So we'll see what the return is. The threshold for me right now is $100,000. Now, listen, for you out there that's watching, I understand you might not be able to do that right now. Hell, back in October, I couldn't do that. I couldn't even fathom thinking of doing that, right? So one question that you need to ask yourself, okay, you have to ask yourself is, hey, man, if you have a $500 bankroll, right, or $1,000 bankroll, how comfortable are you betting what amounts that day? If you have $1,000 bankroll, can you bet $1,000? Are you okay with that? Because if you bet $1,000 and on that first day and you have 20 bets out there and 3 of your first 4 bets lose, you're going to get a little nervous. Yeah, who wouldn't, right? So you got to set a realistic unit size. It's really, really important that you do that, okay? This first month, if you're going to try OddsJam, you want to give it a shot. You want to see maybe the 1-week free trial. You want to do positive EV betting. If you're like me and you really want to push this baby to the limit, like how much money can we make here? First month, man, just dip your toes in the water. I don't want you doing the cannonball. Don't do that. Dip your toes in the water. Get used to the tool. Get acclimated to the sports books. Figure out how to navigate the sports books. Go and pick off all the low-hanging fruit sports books, right? The low holds tool, the arbitrage tool. Up that bankroll. I want you to attack the low-hanging fruit books in your state that are giving you easy, simple deposit matches. Why? Because A, it's really easy cash to make. It's very simple. It gets you kind of acclimated and used to the tools at OddsJam. It gets you used to just navigating the sports books. And then once you're comfortable after that first month, boom, then you could start doing some positive EV betting. Or maybe you up your positive EV betting. But I don't want you going just cannonballing in the pool right off the hop. Take it slow. I know it sounds, man, you're so excited. You got the tool. You want to start making money hand over fist, right? But I don't want you going 100 miles an hour in a 25, okay? I don't want you doing that. We just kind of got to ease into this. Remember, this is positive EV betting is all about winning in the long run, the long term. You're going to be doing this every month. So no need to rush it right now, right? No need to kiss on the first day. Just have a nice time and then do it again on the second day, right? So make little steps, little baby steps, little progressions. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give you. So I'm going to pull over a spreadsheet right here. We're going to hop in and just kind of take a look at maybe just some examples, right? Some lower examples, because I'm not pumping my own tires here, but these are some daunting numbers, $100,000, $135,000. Let's kind of like lower it down. And this is how I want you to think about how much money you can expect to make using OddsJam, because I want to work this baby backwards for you. So let's go take a look. All right, so here we are. It's pretty simple. All right, if you have $1,000 bankroll, right, and let's just say you're comfortable betting $500 a day. So that means for the month, you're betting $15,000 a month. And if our ROI is 3%, then you're making $450 a month. And I mean, it would just be a real shame if I didn't tell you, hey guys, if you want to sign up, maybe try OddsJam, use my promo code Billy20, save you 20% off your monthly subscription. So for the domestic books here in the United States, it's a $200 plan. If you use my code, saves you $40 a month. Helps me out a lot because then it lets OddsJam know that, like, hey, you're actually taking in this content. You like what you're hearing. And so then it costs you $160 a month, right? So $1,000 bankroll, $500 a day, 15 grand a month, $450. All right. If you want to lower this to, let's say, $500 bankroll and you're only betting $250 a day, then that's $7,500 a month. That's $225. If you're able to get down $2,000, you have a $2,000 bankroll, you bet $1,000 a day, right? You kind of see where this is going, but this is based off a 3% ROI. Maybe that's a little too high, right? Maybe let's change this up. Let's say, you know what? It's just going to be, 2%, right? Just 2%. Okay. Well, then here's what you can expect to do, right? So you're just going to take your bankroll. And if you have if you have $1,000 bankroll, but you're okay, maybe betting $800. Oh, okay. Well, then, make it $800. Oh, all right. Well, then you're betting $24,000 a month. You're still making $480, but this would be off of an ROI of 2%, right? So when you start to think about, oh man, I don't know if I should sign up for OddsJam, like maybe, but like how much should I, like how much can I do? Here's how. All right. Look at your bankroll and then have an honest conversation with yourself. And even after that conversation with yourself, you might find out, you might not really know until you just jump in that fire and you find out for yourself. And then you can find out what your risk tolerance is. But it's a conversation you have to have with you. But I'd rather you be conservative, bet responsibly, and have a kind of a, just put it in first gear and just nice and easy. And then once you get comfortable, let's rip it into second, maybe third gear, and let's really take off. But this is what you can do. So don't think about per day. Don't think about per week. Look at it from a monthly view. And this is what you can look to do. If you bet 24 grand in a month and you brought back a 2% return, you're making $480, $800 a day, right? Well, if we take $800 and you're making 30 bets a day, well, then you're averaging about $27 a play. Now, obviously, that'll vary based off of what I showed you, the way I do it. And if you can only get down 20 bets a day, then you're betting $40 a play. Does that seem like you might be able to do something like maybe $40 or $20 a play, right? The more plays, obviously, the lower the average goes on a daily basis. But this is just something I kind of want to get you the wheels kind of spinning in your head so you can think about, right? So last thing that I want to mention, guys, I showed my Twitter before. If you have any questions, leave me a message in Twitter. I respond to everybody. Even if you're just trying to sell me something, I still respond to it. I say, thank you. Leave a comment, right? Thumbs up, thumbs down. If you like this type of stuff, if you don't like this type of stuff, this is basically what I'm pumping out a couple times a week, trying to get a little bit more daily with it to help you guys out. But man, just ask me a question. It's not going to cost you a dime. I'll hop on a Zoom call with you, kind of break down whether the tool or any questions that you have, whether you've been using OddsJam for a while or you're just interested in it. Reach out to me. Feel free. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you have a wonderful Monday. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.